Imagine she wakes up 90 years early. Jim shouts via computer, "Hey, Earth Tech, can I return to Eastside?" But reality's bleak. Sending a message to Earth takes 19 years and a reply a whopping 36 years. That's 55 years round trip. Will she even be alive then? With a glimmer of hope, Jim discovers the sleep operation manual in her heart and miraculously activates the capsule. She eagerly hops in, but the capsule acts like a dead fish, totally unresponsive, almost trapping her inside. Jim reluctantly faces the dark truth. Spots a living person, only to find Arthur the bartender is a robot. A chilling find. Arthur says the ship's rated perfectly safe, no pod restart. What's that mean? If the ship remains safe, she'll die alone. Jim won't accept it. She furiously destroys the cockpit, but the unbreakable door renders her efforts pointless. However, the impact's consequences linger on, and the ship's systems keep malfunctioning. As the only awakened human, Jim is left chatting with her. She passes time in style, living in a luxury Vienna suite, playing solo basketball to work off that pent-up energy. A 500,000 option holographic dance machine, she dines alone in a top restaurant. Over time, Jim sparks chemistry with the robot vacuum. A year later, the once vibrant her becomes a slacker. That day, Jim holds the bottle, gazing enviously at the sleeping passengers. As she tosses her bottle, she notices a cabin, enters and finds 2 spacesuits. She dons one instantly. With her magnetic boots, she hits the pressure button and clips on the rope, stepping outside the ship for the first time, floating in the vastness of gazing into the dark and dreamy universe. Jim's tears spill compared to these shiny stars. Her life seems utterly insignificant. Back in the capsule, despair-stricken, Jim nearly leaves, but stops. Rather than wait to die day by day, she considers dissolving into stardust in the universe, tremblingly placing her finger on the pressure button. She falls, writhing in pain, but her most aching pain is her reluctant yet cowardly heart. As she stands, she glances back. Hidden dark side of her humanity. Jim reviews that woman's info, and a chilling thought suddenly creeps in. What if I wake the sleeping beauty? I'd no longer be lonely, but it would mean her life would be destroyed. Jim's in a real pickle. She even goes to Arthur for advice in order to seek an answer. What on earth does this count as? Bringing her back? How's the math work? This isn't about robots. Looking at the robot, desperate, Jim finally decides to shed her messy look, restoring her dashing appearance. Even now, her inner struggle rages on. Tools in hand, she approaches the sleep capsule. That first accidental glances open Pandora's box, watching Aurora about to wake up. Jim's expression goes from excitement to terror as she realizes her actions are basically a non-lethal murder. Panicking, she runs to her room with murder tools too cowardly for death's escape. Daring enough to destroy a stranger's sleep pod. Her emotions are a whirlwind. The mistake has been made, and there's no turning back. As the elevator moves, Jim tiptoes into the ship's hall and fakes an encounter with the bath. Jane McPreston, Eileen, do you know what's going on? I've never had anyone wake up in my path. Facing Aurora's confusion, Jim confidently takes her to the observation deck. Breaking the news. We've got 89 years until we hit our new home. Upon hearing this, Aurora is understandably distraught. She frantically searches for her sleep pod, hoping to fall back asleep, but Jim stops her, delivering the crushing news to get someone back in the bubble water. We need special gear. This bubble water protects us. Aurora, hearing this, breaks down and goes wild, just like Jim did before, banging on the cockpit door, totally pointless. Because over a year before she woke up, lonely Jim had tried every imaginable way only to fail miserably. After a few days of despair, Aurora finally accepts reality and starts friendly chats with Jim, sharing their life stories. But every time she thinks of spending her remaining life on this spaceship, a wave of loss washes over her. Guilt-ridden, Jim seeks out Arthur, instructing him never to reveal the truth of Aurora's awakening. Jim assumed he would follow orders, but machines are machines, never as smooth as humans. Little did she know Aurora would eventually learn the truth here. Right now, Aurora is completely clueless. As time goes on, Jim's company helps Aurora adapt to life aboard, and they often splash around the pool together, hanging out at Arthur the robot spa. Once lonely Jim, not lonely anymore. Their companionship seems to patch up all past misfortunes, but soon enough, Aurora finds herself liking the very man who wrecked her life. It's not until they are suited up and strolling in space hand in hand that Aurora finally lets go of her past, falling head over heels for the man before her. Subtitles. But even amidst this shared happiness, sparks can't be concealed forever. Just when Aurora makes up her mind to spend the rest of her life with Jim, she inadvertently learns a devastating truth. Jim's casual remark misleads Arthur, the robot. So, When Jim heads to the restroom to grab the engagement ring, Arthur spills the beans. Realizing the jig is up, Jim has no choice but to confess. But this throws Aurora into a deep despair, worse than when she first woke up. From heartbreak to fury, Aurora's heart bears the weight of unimaginable torment. Yet within her lies a complete confusion of despair. The inner turmoil makes her scream in agony. Ironically, her tragic sentence to death brings a glimmer of hope to the still sleeping passengers. That night, enraged Aurora storms into Jim's room, ready to unleash her fury on the man who wrecked her life. After delivering a full-on beatdown, Aurora still feels unsatisfied and grabs a metal rod for the finishing